Hi everyone, so today we're going to be starting off a series over the next couple of weeks where I'll be going through all of the potential Democratic nominees in 2020 predictions against Donald Trump. So we're going to start off with the person who's most likely to get the nomination down to some of the people who have no chance of getting the nomination. So we're going to start off with Joe Biden from Delaware against Donald Trump of New York. I'll be using this format, which includes the state names and the last name of the candidates in capitals, and with this theme like that, and with this style of chart. So let's get started. So Joe Biden, we can see carrying the western states of Washington, Oregon, California, and Hawaii. New Mexico, not Texas, sorry about that. New Mexico would move into the safe column. Illinois, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, the District of Columbia, New York, that first district in the state of Maine. And I could even see Maine at large moving into the safe Democratic column. Okay, what about Donald Trump? He's going to take Alaska, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Kansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama, South Carolina, Kentucky, West Virginia, Indiana, most of Nebraska except for that 2nd congressional district. So, where do we stand right now? 190 electoral votes for Joe Biden, 125 for Donald Trump. Okay. So we can see Donald Trump taking the state of Texas. Now, even though there was a recent poll that showed Joe Biden actually beating Trump, I don't think that lead will last. And I think given the Republican nature of the state of Texas, I think that it would move into the Trump column. But I am going to put it in the leaning column just because, again, of that poll and because of the recent 2018 Senate race where overall came within striking distance of Ted Cruz. So that is Texas. Moving over to Arizona, this is another state I see moving into the leaning Republican column. A lot of people are moving this into the Democratic column, but I'm not so sure. I mean, yes, Kirsten Sinema did win this, and yes, it's likely to go Democratic in 2020 with Martha McSally on the ticket against Mark Kelly. But it's still a Republican state. Kirsten Sinema was a very moderate Democrat in a very red not in a very red state, in a red state. Donald Trump was still able to win it back in 2016 against Hillary Clinton. I think Arizona would move into the GOP column. Okay, in the state of Colorado, this one moves into the likely Democratic column. Democrats have been doing very well here in recent times. They recently won a governor's race with Jared Polis. They flipped a congressional district. I believe they might have also flipped one of the state legislators, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure about that. But they did well here in the 2018 midterms. So I think Joe Biden would carry the state of Colorado. Okay, moving on from Colorado into the state of Nevada. This one I see moving into the leaning Democratic column. Now, with Nevada, it went blue in the midterms. I mean, Democrats almost won all 4 congressional districts. That's a false statement. They comfortably won 3 out of the 4 districts. The 4th is solidly Republican. But Nevada, and they won a Senate seat, a high-profile Senate seat, taking down Republican incumbent Dean Heller. They also won a governor's seat, taking down Republican Adam Laxalt with Steve Sisolak and Jackie Rosen, taking both high-profile statewide races. So that one moves into the Democratic column. Okay, Minnesota. This one is moving into the leaning Democratic column. Now, I see the argument as to why this one moves into the likely column. Amy Klobuchar was able to win here by a very comfortable margin in 2018. But again, I still think that there are some voters who just will not vote for a Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden, and I think those voters will come out to support Donald Trump, or might even stay home if they are more on the progressive side. So Minnesota moves into the leaning Democratic column. Okay, Going down into the state of Florida, Florida moves into the Trump column. Now, again, I see the argument as to why it moves into the Democrats' column for 2020, because of the how the former felons can now vote in Florida. But again, look at the Republicans' success in the midterms here. They won 2 high-profile races when they weren't meant to do so. In a blue wave year with an unpopular Republican incumbent president, I see Donald Trump winning Florida once again. In Georgia, I also see Trump winning in the state of Georgia. Now, with Georgia, it can sometimes get interesting. I mean, in 2018 with Stacey Abrams, but again, I think at the end of the day, these Republican voters will come out and support Donald J. Trump. In North Carolina, this is another southern state where I think that Trump can win once again. I think he did quite well here in 2016, winning by about 4 percentage points, which is quite well for a swing state. The Republicans held on to most of the congressional districts that were competitive, some of whom that were meant to go to Democrats, and I see, the scandal plaguing Republicans in North Carolina, but again, I still think that at large, the state will go to the GOP. Okay, in the state of Virginia, this one moves into the likely Democratic column. Again, I do see the argument with the scandals Democrats are facing in Virginia, but I think that Democrats were able to flip 3 congressional districts in 2018. I think that's enough, given that Republicans won them in 2016 and Clinton was still able to carry the state. I think it will be enough for Democrats to win in 2020. Okay, so New Hampshire is the next state we're looking at. New Hampshire we see moving into the leaning Democratic column. We see it being somewhat competitive, but not close enough that it would move into the tilt column or into the toss-up column. Democrats, I believe, okay, whatever. But Hillary Clinton was able to carry the state. There's no reason why Biden would not be able to do the same. At Maine 2nd District, this one actually moves into the Trump column, into the leaning column, because again, even though Democrats won a congressional district here in 2018, Hillary Clinton lost this by 10 points. I think that if she lost it by that much, there's enough of an anti-democratic base that pushes Trump over the line in Maine's 2nd District. In Nebraska's 2nd District, Democrats nominated a Democratic candidate, and she didn't win. Kara Eastman came up short of the Republican incumbent Don Bacon. I see Trump doing the same and winning that 2nd District in Nebraska against Joe Biden. So it all comes down to the Midwest. Iowa, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania will decide the 2020 election, as it often does. Okay, so Joe Biden, we'll start off with the Trump states. Donald Trump, we see taking the state of Ohio narrowly. We see enough of the Trump base. Hillary Clinton lost this by 7 to 8 points. That's a lot of ground to make up very quickly for Trump, for the Democrats. And Democrats lost a governor's seat that they had a solid chance of winning. I see Ohio narrowly moving into the Donald Trump column. In Iowa, this is another state I see moving into the Donald Trump column. Yes, I can see the argument with the tariffs and whatnot, but again, at the end of the day, Hillary Clinton, the Democrats' establishment, they're not liked in this state. I see Donald Trump winning in the state of Iowa. Okay, next state, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania moves into the Democratic column. This is where Joe Biden was born. He can connect with the voters here, or at least the voters think he can connect with them. Whether that's true or not doesn't really matter. It's what the voters think, right? Whatever. Okay, Pennsylvania moves into the Democratic column. Guess what Democrats won in 2018 here? A governor's seat, a Senate seat. They picked up like 4 or 5 congressional districts. Democrats did very well here in 2018. I think Pennsylvania moves into the Democratic column. Okay, the next state is the state of Michigan. This one also moves into the Democratic column. I see this one, along with Wisconsin, being the ones that put Joe Biden over the edge. Because Michigan and Wisconsin, again, they both elected new Democrats to statewide office. I thought Democrats did very well here in 2018. And Hillary Clinton only barely carried both of these states in 2016. So that's it for today's video, guys. The final result is 278 for Joe Biden, 260 for Donald Trump. Biden flips the states of Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. And that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Comment down your suggestions below, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.